Hi, my name is Moni, and yeah, y'all caught me looking ratchet, but I'm gonna tell you about my journey. So, what better way to document this than through YouTube? So, I'm 41. I've been single for a couple years, back and forth, but one of the things that I've gone through and I've debated about is that I want a child. Um, when I was 26, I was diagnosed with kidney cancer and went through treatment. Well, not treatment, surgery, and everything came back fine. But I've never been pregnant. Had a couple of scares, and didn't know if I ever could get pregnant. So this last 6, 7, 8, maybe a year, I started just investigating to find out if there was something wrong that was not allowing it to happen, and if I could even get pregnant to something I needed to pursue. One of the main reasons is because I've had a menstrual period since I was 10, and it's a horrible, horrible period. I sometimes get my period twice, 3 times a month. Um, the bleeding is so extreme that on day 2 and 3 of my period, I can't go anywhere. I have to stay in the house or stay close to the house because I'm bleeding so extremely heavy that I can literally get up out my office chair and just go to the refrigerator and I'll feel large gushes of blood flowing through me. So, and I'll have to go change. And even the super duper pads, the super heavy overnights, Kotex makes a double time. All of those, nothing can outlast this beast. So, I had my doctor run all the tests, and basically what came back was that I'm able to get pregnant from what she can tell, but because I have so many fibroids, she wouldn't suggest it, at least not right now. The problem with that is 10 years ago, when I turned 30, or 11 years ago now, I did the myomectomy, and the point of that was to get rid of the heavy periods that I've experienced again since I was 10, to slow them down, to make them more controllable, to make them more regular, because I like I said, sometimes I get a period 2, 3 times a month. So I've gone through the whole Depo shot thing. I got on Depo when I went to college strictly to get rid of my period because high school was horrific for me with my period. At one point, long before a leave was over the counter, my doctor had us sharing, me and my mom sharing a prescription of naproxen because she needed me to be on it to control my cramps. But she didn't want me, she couldn't legally issue it to me. So she would issue it to my mom, and then my mom was to divvy it out to me accordingly. So that was one thing. And then just some other examples of the pain and the frustration I've gone through with the period. Fainting, back pains, throwing up for 2 or 3 days. There's probably some people out here who can actually identify with what I've gone through. And it's been overwhelming. So to be 41 and to have never been pregnant, to have never even, like I said, I've had a couple of scares or thought I was, but it wasn't like, it was like, oh, you took a test, all right, you came back, you're fine, everything's fine. Yeah. Other than that, I've pretty much been barren, which is kind of disheartening because I went through a stage in my life where I said I did not want kids. And the fact that I don't have none, I sometimes blame on that stage. But after I dealt with cancer, I was like, nah, I want a kid. He didn't keep me here meaning God, for me to just, live without at least experiencing that. So I thought by now it would have happened. Thought I'd be married, thought I'd have a kid. Neither of which are true. We'll get into that another day. So, anyway, the suggestion was made that because the myomectomy didn't work, we would just, go back to the normal whatever, and that wasn't working. And then after still dealing with such a heavy period 10 years later, she's like, oh, you might want to just start considering a hysterectomy. She's tried different birth control. That hasn't worked. So in the end, I decided to turn back to natural stuff. Natural has helped me in the past with migraines. It just helped me in the past. Probably warding off cancer coming back, because I've just stayed as much natural as possible. But the one thing I changed is before I got diagnosed, I lost 100 pounds. I did it naturally. I was working out. Everything was going great. Now, I did not grow up eating eggs. They were something that I could take or leave. But when I was losing weight the first time, one of the fitness instructors that I got to be really cool with was like, you need to try to eat eggs. They're not, I always thought eggs were high in cholesterol. She's like, yeah, they are, but they're also a good source of protein. So I started eating more eggs and I started liking them. In fact, I got to the point where I loved an omelet, and I don't have to have meat. I can just have a veggie omelet and be good. Fast forward to 2020. Talking to my friend / herbalist, and she says to me, if you're serious about working on getting rid of these fibroids, I can help you. But you got to give up eggs and cheese. I became a pescatarian 2 years ago almost, so the eggs part was going to be easy, although that is like my main staple for breakfast. The cheese, not so much, but I've been working on it. I've been pretty decent about trying to keep it to a minimal and emptying, trying not to eat it at all, really. So the eggs part was funny. She said to me, those little yolks or those little fetuses are harming your fetus. And I'm like, So I thought about it. Over the last 10 years, even though I had this myomectomy, when I've gone back to the doctor, she said to me, you have way more fibroids. Each time I have more and more fibroids. So I started doing a little research and trying to compare the questions that I had regarding the herbalist statements. And I kind of figured out that they really align. My fibroids have definitely increased, but my egg intake had increased too. So I gave up eggs June 1st, which was interesting, because then that kind of took away anything I can really have for breakfast, unless I want to have carbs, which is basically pancakes, because or waffles or French toast, because I don't eat meat. So in doing so, she also said, I need you to try this tea that I'm going to make for you. And I want you to try a V-steam. A regular V-steam added to your regimen every week. So I was like, oh, wow. I'm like, well, I bought a Sitz last year with the intentions of trying it out. But I never actually tried to get to the damn thing to do the V-steam. Go to the shop or the spa. And I haven't tried one. So she sent me the medicine, or the herbal medicine, and I was like, here's my chance. So I'm doing my research, and because her instructions said to put the pot in the toilet, and then grab a blanket. Well, I'm not interested in sitting on my toilet with a blanket that I might use for something else, or a pot that I might use for something else. So I broke out my sits, and I was trying to figure out where I could put my sits besides in the toilet, because I didn't want to do that either. And I had never used the sits. So I came to the conclusion after looking up some stuff that a mobile toilet would be the best solution. So I ordered one. And I'm like, now I get to try out my V-stand. So I know it's been rambling for like 10 minutes, but I gave you some back history on me. But I'm sitting here with my blanket in my bedroom, as you can see, on my mobile toilet. And it's only in my bedroom. It'll only be used to do my V-steams. I had to tell my brother, like, if you come over here and you see a mobile toilet, mind your business. Hashtag mind your business. So I'll let you guys know. I read up some people say that they saw evidence of a change within the first 2 steams. So I think I'm supposed to do this twice a week. My period, by the way, has already been here twice in the last month, so hopefully it won't show up again until next month, but I ain't counting on it. With that said, we'll find out then how these V-steams actually worked. But all the research I've been reading says that they're pretty good to do, so I'm going to probably try to do a couple of them. And see for the couple weeks. A couple of them per, not per day, but per week over the next couple weeks. And see if that makes any difference in next month's menstrual. Alright, guys.